Welcome back, everybody. It's the No Money Real Estate Podcast, and I'm really excited about this episode today, and I'll tell you why. There are three people that I absolutely 100% rely on for everything we do here at the Investors Growth Syndicate. And I convinced all of them to join me today. And we're going to talk about house flipping. We're going to talk about real estate. We're going to talk about the state of this fucking economy right after this. Hey, my name's Kenta, and I'm a real estate investor. I want to welcome you to the No Money Real Estate Podcast. On this show, I'm going to interview elite level real estate investors from all over North America. And I'm going to help you to see one thing that all successful real estate investors have in common. They build their portfolios without using a dime of their own money. I've got a portfolio of $300 million in real estate. That includes resorts, apartment buildings, commercial buildings, and I built the entire portfolio without using a dime of my own money. Real estate is a business that anybody can get into, but the strategies that those tight real estate investors use to build massive portfolios have been kept secret for decades. Now, because of this show, I'm going to reveal them to you. So let's get started. All right, welcome back, Jesse, Sarah, Adam. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, you too.
Hey, Ken.
Hello. How's it going?
Good.
So
All right. So first thing, there's going to be somebody who's watching this video that doesn't know us, and I'll use me included in that because YouTube sends this video out to so many people, and on the podcast, they're going to hear from you. Just take 2 minutes and introduce yourself. Talk about your real estate experience, what you've done, what you're working on right now. We'll start with Sarah.
Okay, I'm a real estate investor in Kingston, Ontario. I've been buying property here for about 15 years now. Ever since my early 20s when I graduated from university. I started my real estate journey buying a really rundown townhouse in downtown Kingston, renovating it, and that was how I first learned about adding value to property through renovation, or our favorite word, lift. And from there, I just got hooked on buying properties, renovating them, either flipping them for a profit or holding them and providing really nice spaces for my tenants to live in. And now I'm working on some bigger commercial size projects, more units, more doors, bigger renovations, but essentially building on all of the skills that I worked on in my first 10 years or so in renovating houses and duplexes and some of those smaller places. And what I love about real estate is there's just so many different pieces to every project. It's never boring, but there are systems and processes that you can put in place to make sure that you're successful. And, I like every part of the process. I love finding a good deal, the hunt, negotiating for it, and making the plan for construction. The design part is fun for me. And then selling it at the end is just like, it's such a win-win because I've done something great and someone else gets to enjoy something. And that just caps off what I think is a really like a magical process in terms of how we provide great living spaces for people, whether we're holding them or, we're turning them over to new buyers.
Yeah, totally. Jesse.
I'm Jesse Top. I live in Port Elgin, Ontario. So I'm a house flipper, professional house flipper. I can say that with all humility. I have a house flipping company. I have general contractors, supply chains. I'm also a licensed real estate agent as of today with eXp Canada. So I sell my own deals now. I'll be finding my own deals. I started out in real estate, watching my father for years build wealth, self-employed through real estate. He did it his way. And then I got into it about 7-8 years ago, heavily, maybe 7 years ago now, through gym ownership. So I owned a series of gyms, different locations. I ended up buying, getting the gyms up and running, and then buying the commercial buildings, which they were in. I didn't know the power of leverage then. And once I learned the power of leverage, of leveraging those buildings to buy more buildings and more houses, which led me to house flipping. I now only have one location gym, 10,000 square foot gym, nearly 1,000 members. It's a great business. I love it. But my main focus is house flipping and real estate developing at this point, and coaching with you guys. It's absolutely amazing.
Awesome. Adam.
Hey guys, Adam Finch here. I'm from Kitchener, Ontario. I've been in construction almost all my life. I started framing houses in high school and decided I wanted to do more than just frame houses. So I went to school for architectural engineering technology. I then started working for a large general contractor here in Southern Ontario. Worked my way up to supervising projects there. Decided I was going to run my own renovation company for a while so I could kind of learn that portion of the business. I got back into working for a large general contractor again on the more project management side. Now I specialize in project scheduling. So we've got projects all over Southern Ontario that I'm working on. So it's just kind of continually growing upon my skills. So I've done house flips, I've done buy and holds, and now I'm helping manage large multifamily projects and long-term care homes all throughout the province.
Okay, so anybody who follows us know that we are like the four musketeers of house flipping. We do all this stuff together. And if there's anybody that is new to house flipping and you want to know what it's all about, what I want you to do is click on the link in the show notes. Adam, Sarah, Jesse, and I are doing a live presentation that you can come and check out, and we'll talk to you through what it's all about and how you can make money. And we easily can show you how to make an extra $100,000 in cash in the next 12 months if you want to do it. What I want to do with you guys right now is change the language a little bit. And I'd like each of you to give what you believe to be the most important piece of advice with respect to house flipping. And I'm going to go Adam, Jesse, and then Sarah, and you can't repeat each other's advice. Go ahead, Adam.
So the most important thing, and this is where a lot of people run into problems, is you have to make sure that the numbers work. So that means that when you're buying the house, you got to get it below market value. And when you're calculating your renovations, you got to make sure that you do have your contingency allowances in there, because we are taking apart these houses. You never know what you're going to find if you've got a leaky foundation, if your pipes aren't up to code, if you've got electrical issues. You want to make sure that you've got all that. And then you want to make sure that you've got a quality contractor that has taken all that into account and they've given you a full detailed budget. And then from there, you want to make sure that you're reaching out to a proper mortgage broker so that you've got someone looking after all the numbers there and helping you crunch everything together. That way, when you actually put an offer on the property, you know what it's going to cost to renovate, you know that you're getting it at the right value. And then again, you're going to get an appraisal afterwards to make sure that after all that renovation's in there, you can sell it for the dollar amount that you need. And then you're going to make the profit that you want.
Awesome. Jesse, what are you going to add?
Adam just did all of them in one shot, I think, in one paragraph, just for the record, Adam.
Right?
Without saying the words, he said the words. I'm going to talk about the money, because the money to me is like, you have to have your money right. And when I was first getting started, I thought that to do this, I needed to have, you know, a couple $100,000 in my bank account, or even 50,000 in my bank account, which isn't true. But what I really needed to have was, I need to have my credit profile in check. I needed to have my documents in check. I need to have my documents, meaning government documents, like my T4, T1, whatever I'm using. I need to have my my lender's package in check. So if I'm going to be using private money, the lender's package that we offer in the program and that we use to present the deals to lenders is key. That's what's going to get you the money for the deals. And for me, I think that's probably the most important part, because that's what seals the deal. That's like what Adam was saying. The numbers make or break the deal, but getting the money, you know, is dependent on the numbers, and the numbers are dependent on the money. So for me, it's like getting your money in check.
Awesome. Sarah?
Okay, so I'm going to say that none of that matters unless you find the right property.
Oh, damn. I was going to jump in and do one after you, and that's what I was going to say.
So if we can't find the right property, then the numbers don't matter and the money doesn't matter. You know, if you get the right property and then the numbers work, it's easy to finance the deal, right? So it's just a really key part of the process. So the hunt, the negotiation to get it under value, I think Adam did mention that, but when you have the right property with the right scope of work in the right neighborhood, then you're setting yourself up for success.
You're absolutely right. So what do I want to add to this? Here's what I'll tell you guys. We've helped hundreds and hundreds of people to do house flips. And we've got some students that you've actually seen on this podcast that are in our program. We've had people that have made $250,000 doing a house flip if you do them right. But one of the biggest mistakes I see people making when they're first getting started in this is they think they can do some of the work themselves. And there's one person I'm thinking about right now that I'm not going to give you their name, but I'm going to tell you what they did and why they made such a massive mistake. If you take a close look at my hands, and you're not going to see them in the video unless Danny, does all our video editing, can figure out a way to come right up on my hands, you're going to see there is no calluses on these babies. They're soft as a baby's bottom. I don't do renovations. I don't know how to. In fact, I've picked up a hammer on a job site and I've had my contractor yell at me and tell me to put it down, because everybody knows I'm a freaking disaster. But I'll make $600,000 this year doing flips. Why? Because if you do this the right way, you don't have to actually get your hands dirty. Now, on the other side of the coin, I'm not telling you not to do work. If you're a general contractor or you're a flooring guy or a kitchen guy, get in there and do the work yourself. You're going to save yourself money. But what I love about house flipping, if you follow our strategy, you can do these house flips without ever breaking a sweat. And that's the most important thing to me for sure. All right, Jesse, I want to go back to you for a second because I've been watching you launch a house flipping company. And I'm proud to say I gave you that idea a year and a half ago. You heard me talking about it. But tell me about how that actually works. What do you mean by a house flipping company? Who's involved in it? Why is it a company? Explain that to everybody.
It's a numbered company. So for myself, I can't get any more debt on my own personal name. So, and I also have other businesses. So there's one is part of the debt profile. I have a new company established so that when I go to the lender, I'm going to borrow from XYZ company, not Jesse Top. Jesse Top's going to personally guarantee it, but it's going to go on the profile of that corporation to start with. The second thing is liability with that company. Like I said in my intro there, I own other businesses. I have my own personal assets. You know, if something ever was to happen, I don't want that to come back on me. You know, there is a part of it that will still come back on me, but it's one layer of protection. And then as far as building it from a company standpoint, everybody always asks the question, and we joke around about it, but what about capital gains? When I put it inside a company and I sell multiple houses with this sort of business model, it actually works out to be business income. So I get taxed differently than capital gains interest or capital gains tax. There's that's a conversation with the accountant, but I've gone over it in fine detail of how I can save tax and the tax advantages to me by running it inside a company compared to running it with Jesse Top or Sarah Top from a tax standpoint. Probably the biggest thing too is it's allowed me to use another corporation that I'm going to be able to leverage in the future to either lend more money and employ more people, and then removes my personal liability to that business.
Nice. Absolutely. On the other side of this coin, Adam, there's another thing that I wanted to bring up, and this relates directly to me and you. The skills that you learn getting into house flipping don't need to pertain just to house flipping. And what I mean by that is I've owned 11 different houses since I bought my first house when I was 25 years old. And essentially every house I've ever bought, I've flipped. Meaning I go out, when I'm looking to buy a house for my family, I don't literally go find a new house that's perfect. I do the opposite of that. In fact, the house I'm moving into right now, I can't move into it because I ripped it apart. So I closed on it 30 days ago. I put a construction team in it and they literally took the whole house back to the studs. We bought it for 1.2 million. We're putting 400,000 into it. It's going to be worth 2.7 million the day we move into it. And Adam, I'd love to hear your thoughts on doing this as a strategy to create free money, right? Because that equity you create in your primary residence is tax-free. And the reason I'm picking on you to talk about this, Adam, is because I know you did something similar, right?
Yep. So my first two houses, I did that. So our first house, we bought it. We didn't have any kids at the time. We just got married. So we rented out the extra rooms to students. So we were using it for that purpose. But the whole plan was that we were only going to live there temporarily until we started to have kids. And we wanted to then be closer to either my parents or my wife's parents so that we could have some help there. So we picked, we got a nice affordable house. We made about $80,000 in profit in about 2 years on that. Then we found an old duplex. So then we moved into a bigger house. But then we had the added income of now duplexing that. So then we rented that out to people for a while. And then with that, then we made $250,000 in profit after 2 years. And then baby number 3 was on our way. So again, we kind of cycled these houses in with our life milestones. We moved into our house now. We were going to do a similar strategy, and then COVID kind of hit. So we kind of pivoted, and then we're able to then take the skills that we've learned flipping houses to, okay, can we do now buy and holds with this right now because the houses are at a certain dollar value, and now we're getting them cheaper than they were at that time. So let's leverage that and start growing our real estate business that way as well.
Awesome. Sarah, I'm going to completely go in a different direction with you again. And it just came into my mind. And because this is a live podcast, I get to ask whatever I want. I want you to comment on it. It annoys me to even think like this. There is this thought in the market that real estate is a man's game. And it drives me crazy because I look at the Investors Growth Syndicate, which isn't amazing. Like when we first started working together, there was 100 people in it. Now there's 350 people in it. It's growing really fast. But I think some of the top real estate investors we have in the Investors Growth Syndicate are women. I'd like you to comment on that, Sarah, and tell me your thoughts on it, and how do we how do we get rid of this bullshit thing that, real estate is just for men?
Well, I think when it comes to real estate investing, like anybody can do it. And, it's interesting that you bring that up because one of the things I found now that I have a bit more of a public profile and I'm speaking at events more is that people come and seek me out because I am a younger woman and I've done it all on my own. So, for those of you who are thinking, well, I need a partner, I need this, I need that. Well, I'm here to tell you, you don't need that. You can do it. You can start small and you can build, or you can just go big and and go right for it. I think having the right mentors is really, really helpful in terms of helping you make good decisions to set yourself up for success. I know that that's been a key factor for me, and for me, that's mentors who are both men and women. Um, who bring different value to me and the decisions that I'm making as I'm sort of plotting my own businesses and my own course forward. And I think, there's advantages and disadvantages probably. I walk onto a construction site and I'm meeting trades or sub trades that haven't met me before. They don't know that I'm the owner or the general contractor, and they see this kind of blonde walk on and they're like, huh, what is going on here? And I think in some ways it's disarming. I'm friendly, I smile a lot, and then they quickly learn that, oh, I also know what I'm talking about. So it builds some rapport, it builds respect, and then we have fun and get into it, right? And you treat people with respect. You are, just really moral and integral in all of your interactions, just like you would be in any facet in life, and that goes a really long way. And I feel like I actually really haven't had many experiences where it's felt like being a disadvantage of being a woman on a construction site or in a development project. I felt that sort of through my whole career, and it really comes down to you. Like if you want it, you can do it. There's really nothing to stop you, and it's just really more about surrounding yourself with the right people and resources to be successful.
Yeah, totally. All right, let's finish this up with another philosophical comment from each of you. There'll be thousands of people that watch this video, and the most of them will not be in real estate investing. I want each of you to tell me one logical reason why everybody should do this. Everybody should get into this. And I want to give you some little hints towards that. There's tax benefits from doing this. There's family benefits from doing this. There's freedom benefits from doing this. So I'd like each of you to give people one compelling reason why they should get into real estate investing. We'll start again with Adam.
So, I mean, a major one for us and why we did what we did, like I said, we were always doing the sweat equity approach and flipping the houses that we were living in, just because we were able to accelerate our goals in life. So we were able to, my wife and I are mid-30s, and we've already got development properties that we're able to now, we're building a cottage on. We've got some other resort stuff that we're working on. We've leveraged that money again for some buy and hold properties that, this is a perfect opportunity for my kids to move in one day because it'll be paid off by the time that they're done college. And none of that would have happened if I didn't start flipping houses when I did. And I mean, it's as simple as you do one flip and it's 80, 100, 150, $160,000. And these deals are out there. There's people in our program that have closed on deals and they're working on them right now, and they will be changing their lives by getting that infusion of cash that's just able to just help you out. It's a sigh of relief now that you don't have to worry about, how are you going to be able to afford your mortgage next month? You've got that lump sum, you've got a cash reserve there. And now you can just relax and you can start enjoying life.
Jesse.
That was awesome. I agree with everything he just said. Like, I'm pumped hearing that, just so you know. For me as kids, man, we just had our first son. I'm 42. We have a 10-month-old at home. And I was just saying to Sarah, I say it all the time, but it's just yesterday. It's like, I am so fortunate that to play on just what Adam just said too, is like, I don't have to get up and we don't really have to, we worry about finances, but it's not the front of my mind. Like I get to get up every morning, wake my son up at 7:30 to make sure he's up on time for his sleep schedule and enjoy hours throughout the day with him. Broken up. I have to go this morning. I had to go and deal with some siding stuff and some other stuff for the houses, but I get to come back and hang out with my kids or my child whenever I want to. Plus, I just look forward to the day that I get to bring him with me so that he can see me doing these things, so that he doesn't get stuck in that like rat race of life, where he can see that there's other options out there. For me, that's like that's definitely the reason why I do it. And if you have young kids, I think it only makes sense they're going to watch you do it, whether it's your first time or your 20th time. They're watching you all the time, good or bad. So give them the example to do it.
Absolutely. Sarah?
Yeah, so I think Jesse was hitting on freedom, and I totally agree with that. And the other thing I think that is really important is like you can make money in real estate that you cannot make in a 9 to 5 job, no matter how talented you are, how hard you work, like it's just really not comparable for most people out there. You can have a good job, you can be making 100K, 200K a year. That's great. You want to up level what you can do in your life, then consider adding real estate into the mix, because it just takes you to a whole nother level, whether that's, some financial security or it's financial freedom. So you have flexibility with your time and you can do what you want to do when you want to do it. Or that you just have something to fall back on. Like it's not comparable. And for me, I've always wanted to be able to, do it myself, carve my own path and have that security, that background. So that's why one of the reasons why I started doing it from a young age. And I'm really thankful now that I have.
Well, friends, that was a little bit of a step back in time with 3 people that I think are incredible real estate experts. If you guys enjoyed the show today, drop a comment in the chat. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat on the video show. If you love the podcast, then you got to share the love with us. Hit that 5-star review, and we'll keep putting out tons of great content like this. We'll see you soon.